Hey guys, what's up? It's Deniz from Deniz World of Bodybuilding. You heard it right, it's me. After a very long time of non-production, it all had reasons like it always had. But let's talk about the Arnold Classic. If you want me to do a video about the non-production, I can do it in the upcoming times. I will produce lots of videos, okay, in the upcoming time. So subscribe to my channel if you already don't have. But like I said, let's talk about the Arnold Classic next year. The official page of the Arnold Classic, Arnold Sports on Instagram, posted the open class of its contest next year. And while you can read it here, while you can definitely say that it is more interesting, it is more competitive like than it was this year. This year it just wasn't, but this year also the Olympia was not a full packed Olympia. So I would say that 2019 was definitely not a year of the greatest guys being on stage. You know, the greatest active guys being on stage. It all had reasons, like we know. So let's talk about one guy that definitely misses on this card, because we thought that Shawn Rhoden will compete there to win the contest and be fully on the map for the upcoming Mr. Olympia next year, 2020. And like you can read on here, you won't see his name. So I was really surprised. I don't know the reasons. I don't know if he wasn't invited. I don't know if the Arnold Classic wants to keep distance or wants to have distance till the allegation stuff is ended. I don't know that. And maybe even Shawn didn't want to do it by himself. That could be a reason. What I want to say about this very shortly is that I hope that in a couple of years, like in 5 years or so, Shawn Rhoden won't be the guy where we say that the 2019 stuff ended up his career. Okay, that was the event that ended his career. I hope that won't be the case. But other than that, we have really good athletes. Some of them you wouldn't expect, like Johnny Jackson, where I think that he retired a couple of years ago and now he'll be back. So Johnny Jackson is there, Steve Kuklo is there, Dexter Jackson is there, and he really will be 50 officially when he's on that stage. I think that he wasn't that he was like, okay, I want to end my career when I really feel like it. So when I really know that I gave 100% and the results was not good, but the result was actually not bad for him at the Olympias. So why quitting if you want to continue doing it? So he will be there. He probably, definitely by checking out this scorecard, if nothing dramatically happens, he'll probably be in the top 6 again. So William Bonac is there. That will be, of course, a top competitor. Lionel Beek, he is great. But the problem with Lionel is that he's never in shape. So he's one of those guys, together with Cedric, who'll compete there, that's never in shape. Okay? So they're competing at a level where you would consider it off-season shape, almost. Okay, at least some of the athletes okay have that off-season shape. Some of them are really, really out of order. Let's put it that way. Josh Lenartovich will be there at the Arnolds. He is some guy that could win it, but not because he's aesthetic, but he's brutal, big, and grainy. Okay, he's one of those guys that reminds me, for example, of Dorian a little bit because of the crazy conditioning he can put out, unlike, let's say, Cedric or Lionel or other people. Sergio Oliva Jr. will be there. That will be interesting. So I'm looking up to that one because Sergio Oliva back then, of course, was the front runner, one of the front runners of their time in the golden era of bodybuilding. So the golden era of bodybuilding is highly connected with the Arnold Classic because they want to have classic guys. They want to have interesting and classic physiques. So he's definitely one of those guys that can make people look up to him, and that can definitely make a top 6 or higher. I don't think that Akeem Williams will be placing that well. I don't know how he currently looks, but considering the last performances, I don't think that at this field he has a, let's say, top 4, top 5 chance. Of course, Willie Winkler is up there, but you have to say that there are definitely more aesthetic guys on the show, at the show. But Rulli is just someone that even can win the Olympia, so I don't count him out. He's definitely a top 3, top 4 guy where anything could happen. But what one guy I'll definitely look also up to, 2 guys actually, but let's start with the one guy, is Patrick Moore, who looks like a young Ronnie Coleman. You have to really, go on Google, type in Patrick Moore bodybuilder, because there are other Patrick Moores that are more known, I think. Type in Patrick Moore bodybuilder on Google pictures or photos, I don't know how you call it in the States, and then you'll see pictures of Patrick, and then next to that you'll see Ronnie Coleman when he was young. They so much resemble each other. So I think that with Patrick, he is such a great shape. He was aesthetic like Ronnie was back then when he was young. So I think that he just needs to have some more mass. And I'm thinking that definitely he will put on more mass. I hope that he won't ruin his physique and his lines. That's the most important thing those young bodybuilders have to achieve. Getting mass, but without ruining your physique and having a descended gut and just quitting your own career like many people did, okay, and never being able to be in shape again, in contest shape, to win a show. But one guy stood by his word that he'll compete at the Arnold. I already reported about it, actually. I did, and it doesn't surprise me that he will compete there, and I'm really looking forward to him, Big Ramy. So Big Ramy is definitely one guy. He's more, you would think he's more Mr. Olympia guy because he's just so massive, okay? He's not, actually he is aesthetic, but because he's so massive and big, then more slimmer guys, they look next to that, or they look more aesthetic, but not because he's unaesthetic, like Greg Coach or somebody in the past, okay, that were just freaks. He's a freak with lines. So that combination can be interesting. So I think that the top 6 definitely will be packed with great competitors. I don't think that Victor Martinez will do good. Okay, I think Victor's time is just over. Okay, but he probably still be, of course, in the top 10. But looking up there, I see like 3, 6, 7. I see 14 guys. So being in the top 10 is not that big of an achievement. But at the same time, I don't see him in the top 6. And almost everybody competing there is a pretty good athlete. So even when you get that last, it's not bad. So I'm looking forward to Johnny Jackson, because the problem with him was that his upper body was on such a level. Okay, always when I saw him, when I first got into bodybuilding and I saw videos of him where he went out to the stage with his neck and his chest, I was like, man, this is the guy. But then I saw his leg and it all came into relation. So it's all relative in bodybuilding. You can have the biggest arms when you don't have a chest, or you don't have a back, or you don't have legs, but you have everything else. It doesn't matter. The complete look is important. That makes the sport interesting. Who has a completest physique? I hope I didn't talk too much, but because I didn't talk, for a long while, I was like, I can't go out and do a 1 minute video and just quit the video, even if it's just a competitive announcement video. I had to talk a little bit. So write into the comments, if you're still up there listening, write into the comments who's your top 3 or even top 6, and at least write your winner up. And do you think that it's a good decision on Dexter to compete there? Bye. And subscribe.